And today, since it's so special, it's National Creativity Day, we are going to be showing you 5 different techniques on how to pour. So you can also check out our past videos where we did some pouring 101. So we got like really down and dirty and talked about all the supplies you need and different kinds of basic pours. We did a geode pour, which was really fun, and got into making some rock salts and crystals. So you can check those out on michaels.com because I know they post the videos. And if you aren't crafting with us live and you're just here today to get some inspiration and relax on your Saturday, again, you can watch this video on michaels.com after, which is so great. Also, we're going to talk about all the product that you need. We have some household items that we're actually going to be using also to help with our pours and create some different fun techniques and swirls and marbling. So we're going to get started in just a minute. We have Jessie who is going to be answering questions. So please ask questions, comment, and also we have a really fun giveaway. So Jessie, do you want to tell them about that?
Yeah, hey guys, this is Jessie. Like Kira said, I'm going to be answering your questions today, and I'm going to be shooting your questions over to Kira so she can answer them live. And at the end of this Zoom call, we are going to pick someone randomly from the comments to give $50 for the Plaid product so you can make all of the projects that Kira is doing here today. So make sure you're asking questions and saying hello, letting us know where you're from, so you will be entered to win that prize.
Yeah, and one more thing I forgot to mention, Michaels, so whoever is participating in this class today, for every one person, Michaels is going to donate $1 to the Boys and Girl Club COVID-19 Relief Fund. So that is an amazing cause. So thank you, Michaels, for doing that. So just another reason that, you know, crafting is so good for you. It's great for stress relief, gives you some me time. It's a great way to spend time and do things with your family right now. You know, we're all still staying close to home, so this is a great thing to get your kids involved in. So thank you, Michaels, for doing that. Again, if you are participating today during any of their lives, for every one person that participates and signs up and watches the video, they're giving $1 to the Boys and Girls Club COVID-19 Relief Fund. So we love that, and thank you, Michaels. So we're gonna get started. Again, ask questions. I'll try to answer them live for you. So I'm going to try to get through 5 pours also, and we have a hard stop. We have 1 hour, so I'm going to, hopefully we'll get to them all. So, I like to talk a lot. Okay, so the main thing with pouring that you need is you need a pouring medium. So we sell FolkArt pouring medium at Michaels and online, so this is great. You can order online or do, you know, curbside pick up with them or go into your store if it's open. But this pouring medium is the magic in the bottle. So what is so great about this is that you mix it with your FolkArt acrylic paint, any of your acrylic paints, and it creates it changes the texture of the paint, and I'll show you. We've pre-mixed a lot of our colors to save time today, but you mix it with your paint and it's a 1-to-1 ratio. And what's so great about it, then it creates, it turns the paint into a pouring paint, and it glides across the surface. So if you just pour with regular acrylic paint, it's going to get muddy and messy. So you're going to end up with a brown blob no matter what you do. And even if after you pour and you let that dry, it's all going to blend together, the pouring medium keeps that paint separate, and it lets them swirl and marble together without completely blending it. It lets the paint glide across the surface. So that is super important today. I think in the instructions that we just put 6 to 10 colors of your favorite folk art. So you can really create your own color palette. That's what's so great about this pouring medium. But this is very important. We also make a pre-mixed pouring paint. So if you don't want to get as adventurous, the great thing about this is that you can make your own colors, like any color you want, you can just mix. The pouring paint comes in a select color palette. So there's, again, purples, greens, red, oranges, a lot of your basics and metallics. But this is already pre-mixed for you. So you can pour right out of the bottle and you don't have to do the mixing if you want to go that route. And either will work with any of these techniques that we're doing. So real quick, I'm going to show you how to mix. So I also use plastic cups and plastic spoons, or you can use popsicle sticks. And the great thing is we use a lot of cups while we're doing this, especially here in the studio. But what's so great is that it just cleans up with soap and water. So you can always rinse your, your spoons and your cups out if you want to reuse them, no problem. Also on your hands, a lot of people wear gloves, but it's non-toxic and it washes off with soap and water. So I'm just going to go barehanded for this one. So I've got my cup, I've got my spoon, and then I am actually gonna mix. I'm gonna do a light pink because it's gonna be one of the first pours that we do. So I am going to, this is perfect. So I'm gonna pour my paint directly into my cup, and you can see how thick and creamy this is. So this is right out of the bottom. We're using FolkArt acrylic paint. You could use any of our specialties or our regular. We have a multi-surface, enamel, outdoor, some great metallics and glitters. And you wanna pour into a cup, and then you wanna do a 1-to-1 ratio with our FolkArt pouring medium. And I'm just gonna eyeball this. Oh no, it's not open. All right. So just pour it right in there in about 1-to-1. And the more you do and practice, you kind of get a feel for what the consistency should be. So you saw how thick that was. And once you mix it, you want it to be like almost like a syrup pouring off of your spoon. And the great thing about the pouring medium, it comes out of the bottle milky and creamy, but it's not going to change the color of your paint. So you don't have to worry about it lightening your blacks. Like it's still going to be a true rich black, or your dark colors, or it's not going to lighten up your pinks. So you just want to mix and make sure there's no lumps or bumps. So you just want to get really good mix.
It looks like we've already got people pouring along with you too at home.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, they're pouring live.
That's so great. It's hard to hold it up when you're done. I know, Jesse, when you people were able to hold up their painting, but marbling, you get this mess.
Don't hold it up.
I actually poured a bunch last night to show you guys today what we're going to be doing, and it's so humid here that they're not dry. So we literally fans and hair dryers before we started trying to get them dry. Okay, so this is the consistency you want. I hope everybody can see that overhead and straight on, but it's almost like a syrup consistency. So that's what the pouring medium does. And you want to just make sure there's no lumps or bumps. I know sometimes people have questions about bubbles. Don't worry about the bubbles. It's not going to go on your, once you pour, those bubbles are going to go away. So don't worry about it. Okay, so that's what you do. And again, we've pre-mixed ours just to save time today. Then I also work on a poster board. You want to cover your surface because you're going to get messy. So garbage bags, poster board, parchment paper, any kind of silicone mat. I also use, I don't have any here because my canvases are so big, but I use disposable like metal baking pans. Those are a great thing to use because if your canvas is small enough, it keeps it all contained, which is great.
And they're great too because they're non-stick, so you can just peel the paint out when you're done and use them over and over and over again.
Yep, it's so great. Okay, so another thing that I like to have are thumbtacks because you want to keep your canvas raised off of your surface when you're pouring because it allows your paint to drip off and not stick. And it also helps if you need to move it around. So I just take plain old thumbtacks. You can see we have paint all over them already. Oh yeah, this is just a metal baking pan. So this, I use a lot of times. You can see there's paint in there. You can put your little canvas right in there and pour, and then it's a great way to dry. Okay, so thumbtacks, and I'm going to stick them in the bottom of my canvas. You can stick them on any of your surfaces if you want to pour on wood. You know, canvas board is great, especially if you're practicing. So I just have canvas here, and we did not do anything to the canvas, not prep it or anything. It's right out of the packaging. And see, again, that just leaves it, whoops, that fell out, elevated right off. Wow, these do not want to stick today. All right. So thumbtacks are your friends. I'll hold it right off of the surface. And then, so we're going to do a dirty pour. So here's an example of a dirty pour. And this is a beautiful, like a pale pink. It's a real beautiful, like marbled effect. We use treasure gold, gray, and white. So we're gonna, and no pour is the same. It's like a fingerprint, right? Like every time you're gonna get something different, but I wanted to show you what we're going for. And so I poured this last night, but it was just beautiful. So we're gonna do a dirty pour. So set this aside. So a dirty pour is where you take all your colors that you're using, you select your palette, and then you mix them in a cup. All together, you layer them, turn it over, and pour onto your canvas. So I'll show you guys. So you can see I've got my gray, my pink, my treasure gold. And if you guys don't know about treasure gold, it is the most metallic paint. And I've talked about this on the other classes. It is so beautiful. Like you can see your reflection in it once you paint with it. So we are using treasure gold today to accent. And then I'm just going to use a tall cup So I have 2 different size cups. Again, whatever you have, popsicle sticks, spoons. Again, you can wash them out, let them dry, reuse them. Paint will even peel right out of this plastic. So for a dirty pour, and I have a giant container, I've got a lot of white today that I'm using. So you're gonna layer. You're gonna layer your paint right on top of each other. And remember, whatever paint you put at the bottom is gonna go on your canvas first. So it's like a reverse. So you wanna just start, I hope you're getting a good shot of that. You wanna just start pouring your paint right in there. And you can see how much thinner the paint is because of that pouring medium. And the pouring medium, if you would just pour a bunch of paint in a cup, it would all blend together and just be one color. And you know, that darkest color is going to take over. The great thing about this, the pouring medium is going to keep it separate. So it's just going to swirl in your cup, even though it doesn't look like much. If you guys can see that. So it doesn't look like anything fabulous, but it's going to be beautiful. It's exactly what I did for that example that I showed you.
Hey, Kira, how did you pick how many colors you're going to use on the canvas?
Yep, so we typically like to stick anywhere between 3 to 5 colors at the very most. Like 4 is a really good average, just because it gets very busy. So we like just to pick a really good color palette. Another recommendation is to keep colors in the same color family. So for example, we'll do all pinks and oranges or all blues, like for example, and it just creates, you know, a beautiful palette. The colors aren't going to mix, so you can pick any color you want, but it just is more pleasing after you pour. And remember, if you use a dark color like a black or navy, a little bit's going to go a long way and it's going to overpower your pour. So you don't need a ton, and you can always go back and add after. So also white, we use a lot of white because that's just a really good base and it just keeps everything very neutral and works well.
Oh, that makes sense.
Keep layering. Does anybody have any other questions?
People are saying, Maria asked if there's an order, dark or light first. What would you say to that?
You know, it doesn't matter, like I said, because once you pour it on, you're going to swirl it and it's going to move across your canvas. So it's going to glide. So, but just remember that the dark is going to really, you don't need as much dark as you do your lighter colors, unless that's the look you're going for. But definitely I would put less dark. Gotcha. And you can add more. Okay.
And also when you're done, Kira, how do you recommend sealing it? People are starting to ask that already.
Okay, so you don't need to seal it. If you're just doing it for artwork or decorative purposes, there's no reason to seal it. If you're doing something that's going to be outdoor, or you know, you're going to use like a coaster or something, we recommend using Mod Podge. So you could use any of our Mod Podge formulas as a sealer, or you could also use the Mod Podge spray, clear acrylic sealer, which is also really great. And you could also use multi-surface paint. So if you're pouring on rocks and you're going to put them outdoor, or ceramic or a tile, multi-surface or enamel is a great FolkArt paint to use. We're just using regular FolkArt today. Okay, so I have my paint in my cup. Now I'm going to take my canvas, I'm going to turn it upside down, I'm going to center my cup, and then I'm just going to flip it over. All right, so you can see it's starting to come out. You can kind of glide it along, and then I am just going to dump and let it out. And then what you're going to do, this is the fun, messy part. You're just going to start swirling it. And again, the more you move it, you're going to change it. So if you're like, that's too much pink, it's going to run off of your canvas, and you're going to get these
great.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, yeah, I hope it's coming across.
It is. It looks like real marble, like a marble countertop. It's beautiful.
And it's really subtle, but you know, this pink and the gold and the white, it's so pretty. And then this is how you also get the edges of your canvas. You just let the paint run over, so you don't need to go back in and paint them or worry about it. So there you go. And then when you're happy, you can just stop. And if I was like, I want, and again, you're gonna get messy. So I use baby wipes, like my best friend right now. My hands are a mess, but it doesn't matter. You can just go back and even add. So I've got, say I want a little bit more gold to break this pink up. It's very forgiving, and you can't really mess it up, because if you don't like it, just turn your canvas and slide it, and that paint's gonna fall right off. So look, you could just add some detail there of that gold.
That looks so beautiful.
Yeah, so that is a dirty pour.
So Kira, so if you mix too much paint and you weren't able to use it all on your canvas, what do you recommend doing with that leftover paint that's already mixed?
Okay, so if you're gonna use it again, say within like 24 hours or so, you can actually just put like press and seal or plastic wrap or in an airtight container and save it and go ahead and reuse it. Switch out my board here. Or you can create a paint skin, which mine is actually drying right now, so I'm hoping at the end, but it's the leftover paint. Here's an example. The leftover paint in your pan, so that's why I said if you're using a pan or parchment paper, here's one. So we cut this. So this is actually leftover, or you could pour directly in your pan or silicone mat and pull it up, and then you're creating a paint skin. So this is literally paint paper, and you can cut it. I did have scissors here. So you can cut it and add it. It's a great way to use on like a round surface. So, you know, it's hard to pour on round surfaces because the paint's going to drip off. So you could actually cut your paint skin and wrap it around any surface. You just use some Mod Podge and glue it, you know, right on there. So that's something to do if you have some left over. You could also just go ahead and pour them in your pan. So I could take these colors, if I didn't want to save them, pour them in my pan or my mat, let it dry, peel it up, and then just store them flat between parchment paper and go back and use them. So you're just creating your own paint paper. So we love that as a little tip or trick. And again, you can see right here, that's been like everybody's favorite. So this is still a little bit wet from yesterday, but you can literally just peel it right up.
That's awesome.
Okay, so the next pour we're gonna do, we're just gonna do a direct pour, but we're gonna use a comb to create this fun, like this horizontal line texture. So just a everyday comb you have, nothing fancy about this. And we are going to, I'm gonna move some of these paints out of the way. So a direct pour is where, again, you pour directly on your canvas. So I'm gonna stick my tacks right in my canvas here. Tack is broke, okay. Stick them in there. Turn it upside down. Okay, so a direct pour is where you pour directly on the canvas, you swirl, and then we're gonna use our comb and drag it through and create a texture. So I hope you guys can see, that's how we got these really interesting lines. And I love this color palette. Again, somebody was asking about colors. So I love to stay within the same color family. So blues, aquas, whites. Again, you could do anything, but you get a really pure, clean pour when you stick with your color family.
Yeah, that's a great tip. If you're a beginner and you're not really sure how to select colors and you're afraid that they might mix together too much, yeah, that's a great tip, Kira.
Right. It's a good way to start and get into it and practice, and you don't want to waste, you know, your paints. It's a great way to do it. Okay, so we've got blues, aquas, and whites here. So again, we've pre-mixed these guys. I'm gonna get rid of spoons just so they're out of the way. And I've got my giant container of white. Okay, so for direct pour, you just literally mix and pour right on your canvas. And that's what's so great too. Again, if you want to just use your pre-mixed pouring paint, you could just pour right out of the bottle onto your canvas. But again, we used our FolkArt pouring medium, and we did 1-to-1 ratio of our paint and our pouring medium. So I'm just gonna pour right on my canvas. I'm gonna do kind of like a zigzag right from the top corner all the way down. And again, you can go back and add. So if, you know, you're like, oh, I want this to be really dark, start with a little bit of the dark and go back and add. And then you just layer right on top. It doesn't matter. You could even go this way and go, you know, the opposite. I'm gonna get this beautiful aqua color. Ooh, this is a little thick. So, here we go. And then I'm gonna add white, and you do wanna, even though your canvas is white, you do wanna use white pouring medium. So it's different than just leaving but you don't want the white canvas to show, you wanna actually add your white.
That looks really great already, Kira.
Yeah, these colors, like I said, I love this color, these colors.
Yeah, those colors, it's like an ocean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're actually going to be teaching beach pours. So it's going to be all themed, how to make it look like a sunset on the beach. So that's coming up in a few weeks. Okay, so we poured, and now we're just going to start swirling. And you can see the difference between a direct pour and a dirty pour, because a dirty pour, the colors are more, they just like more intertwine and interfuse with each other. I don't know. It's like, it's more muted. When you do a direct pour, the color, the lines of the colors stay more true. It's more graphic. Maybe that's the best way to say it.
Yeah, it's cleaner, just like the name.
Yeah, it is cleaner. Yep. So again, you want to let it run over, and then when you are happy, you can always go back in and add. You're like, a little bit more navy on here. You could just add. You could just even add it and leave it.
Yeah.
You don't want to swirl it. Okay. So that's a direct pour. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to take a comb. And it depends, you know, how far the teeth are apart. I'll show you. So if you use a wider, the teeth are further apart, and you're just going to go right into your paint. And you want to do like a swirly horizontal motion. You're just going to go back and forth. Can you guys see that? And then you can also, if you use a thinner comb, you're just going to get more lines. So I like the thicker comb. I think you get a better, better pattern. You could go the other way also. So then you can see how it creates
like a feathered pattern.
Yeah, like a feather pattern.
Yeah.
So again, and you could just keep going over. And if you're like, I don't like that, you can just, you know, also let that move down, and it creates more movement and more detail.
Beautiful. Stacy said, I'm loving these. I've never seen them before, and I'm super excited to try.
Oh, thanks, Stacy. Thanks, everybody, for spending your Saturday with us, taking some time, and hope you're getting creative. It's National Creativity Day, so thank you, Michaels, for having us. And don't forget that Michaels, for everybody that participates today, they're going to donate $1 to the Boys and Girls Club COVID-19 Relief Fund. So we love that. Thank you, Michaels, for letting us be a part of that. And also, don't forget, if you're commenting and you're watching all the way through, you are going to be entered. Jesse is going to actually pick a winner at the end, and we're going to announce you're going to win $50 worth of all this product to go ahead and pour on your own at home. So you want to stay tuned. If you guys have questions, let me know. So I think that one, and this one's really different. You know, again, no pour is the same. So this one's darker. I use the wide comb, and I just went across it once so you guys could really see. But this one is very feathered and way more detailed, and I'm loving how this is looking. So I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to
one quick question. So when we're going back to when you're mixing the paint. So you said it was a 1-to-1 ratio for mixing the pouring medium with the acrylic paint. So what if you have an acrylic paint that's a little bit thicker? Would you change the ratio?
So I would start 1-to-1. And again, what you want is you want the consistency of almost syrup pouring off your spoon. So start with 1-to-1, and you're like, that's a little thick. Like I said, when I was pouring the aqua, I knew. I was like, that's a little thick, but I think it's going to be okay. You could always go back and add more pouring medium or add more paint. So you really want it to just pour off your spoon.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great question. And sometimes do a thicker paint, or your paint's been open, you know, it's been around some air. So just add a little bit more pouring medium.
Yeah. Calcia said, that is amazing. The comb just mixed it so well. I never would have thought of it. You were all just so creative, and I am in awe.
Oh, you guys, I love doing this. It's such like a confidence booster. No, but thank you guys all. We love hearing all your questions and seeing everything that you make. And thank you, Michaels, for having us.
Yeah, please share it too. We love to see it afterwards. If you guys are pouring along, if we're going to pour later, we want to see how yours turn out.
Yeah, hashtag Plaid Crafts, actually, and then we could see them. And we, you know, share people's projects on Friday. We do a Fan Friday, so let us see what you're making.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of rushing because I know they've got Michaels is offering so many classes, especially today. So we just want to get through them all. Usually we take a little bit more time. Okay, so I'm going to do next is, yes, okay, sorry, thinking. I am going to show you guys how to do this guy. So we're going to use a straw. And I actually will show you, we poured black first and then added our paint we used the straw technique and we blew our paint and then added glitter. So this is just something fun and different. Again, just techniques. Like you can see behind us all the different ways you can do pours, and there's just so many different unique color combinations. And you know, we've done geodes. We did this earlier this week, and we added glitter and rock salt. So there's so many different things you can do. So I'm gonna take my canvas. I've already pre-mixed the paint here. And so I'm gonna use black. And again, what's great about the pouring medium, it doesn't change the color of your paint, so it's still pure black, even mixing the creamy pouring medium in. So again, here's your texture. You want it just to run off your spoon. Right, so I'm gonna pour this all over my canvas.
Ooh.
So I'm just gonna let it coat my canvas. And again, because of that pouring medium, it allows the paint to glide across the surface, and that's really important when you're blowing the paint across it. Some of
You
these.
see your reflection in that paint. It's so shiny.
Yeah, and this is just our FolkArt paint mixed with our pouring medium. And the great thing about the pouring medium is that it's gonna glossy satin glitter. That pouring medium is not gonna change what the paint looks like. So mixing it with our Treasure Gold, which is the most metallic paint, it's still gonna be metallic when it dries. It's not gonna dull it down.
That's cool.
Get crazy here for time. Again, you're gonna get messy, so you wanna protect your work surface, your clothes.
Yep.
But it's all washable. Again, get your kids involved. It's gonna just come right off the soap and water. And manicures don't matter right now. Jesse, I think we said that last time. Right?
Manicures don't matter right now, no.
Roots and your hair, manicures, pedicures, it's fine. Anything goes. This is like everyone's big hall pass right now.
Yeah. Hey, Kira, can you use this technique on other surfaces besides canvas?
You can. So you can pour on wood, terracotta, paper mache, tile, canvas, rocks. Rocks are a huge trend. This black is going to be gross on my hands until I really wash them. And I'm just using baby wipes right now. You can pour on any of them. I would change the formula of paint you're using depending on your surface. So like if you're doing a glass or tile or ceramic, I would use enamel or multi-surface. You could use outdoor for rocks. But yeah, you could pour on anything. You can see, I don't know, I think we have a lot of canvas back here, but you could pour on, this was really fun. I showed this before. We've done the like fake pumpkins, so you could pour directly on these. And also with making the paint skins, that's something great. So if you have a round surface, it makes it so easy to wrap it, because it is hard to pour on round. Like to do a lampshade, you just do your paint skin and then wrap it around, or a mason jar.
Yeah. So Kira,
Okay.
why did you pour the black paint instead of just using a black canvas?
So I wanted the paint to flow on top of it when I blow through the straw. So it's gonna help your paint glide across the surface.
Cool.
So that's a good question. You could absolutely use a black canvas.
But it's sort of a base for the pour, right? Like
yeah, but for this technique, I want the canvas to be wet.
Gotcha.
Okay. So this is a great way to make flowers too. So you want to pour. So I am pouring white right on my canvas. I'm going to put some Treasure Gold. So I just want a tiny bit of Treasure Gold. Okay. And then I'm just using a straw, just a regular drinking straw. And then I'm going to get this in my hair. So then what you do is you just blow, and you want to not go down at it. You want to really be like, you want to go across your surface.
Ooh, cool.
You can see, I need way more white. So what you want to do is you just want to pour, and so I poured in a couple different spots for this one. You could even swirl it and then go back in and blow on it. And I'm just adding some gold.
That looks really great.
Yeah. Again, it's just playing with it and having fun, right? So there's no right or wrong with this.
Yeah, that looks
so even we got, some white up here. We can get rid of that if we don't like that. So
yeah.
You can take it and just swirl it, and you can see. So I even like hats looking.
Wow, very cool. Angela said, this is really cool. She has just started doing these to add for sale on her website, and she likes to add glitter to hers.
So I'm gonna get paint on my mouth. Let me get another straw. Hold on. It's non-toxic, guys. It's fine. So I don't know if you can see, because we have the black down and the pouring medium with the paint, that it's just moving and you see the different layers. So even if you add more gold, it's gonna move across the surface different.
So cool.
And it really does create that really pretty marbled, like feathery effect, just a different way to do it.
That's awesome.
It's a lot of pressure doing this on camera, guys.
Someone said it looks kind of like a jellyfish.
Yes, and I've seen people do florals and jellyfish with this.
Someone said it looked like a galaxy too before you started swirling.
That would be really pretty. So you could do like a bunch of, like our color shift would be really great. You could add that. So, and it would give it a really pretty galaxy effect. And we're teaching some galaxy paintings.
Susan wants to know, can you do it without the pouring medium? And I think we'll, if you use it without the pouring medium, I'll answer since Kira's blowing with the straw. Your paint might blend together and get too muddy, and it also might be too thick. So when you add the FolkArt pouring medium, it allows the paint to flow better, and it also protects the paint a little bit more from blending together, so it doesn't get too muddy too quick while you're trying to pour.
So I'm kind of liking that, how it just kind of goes across the canvas.
Mm-hmm.
And I know someone mentioned that you just can add glitter. So I actually have glitter here, and we did this to the finished one. So this is just regular glitter. This is Recollections, and you can, you know, if you want to control it, I don't have to put it on this side. So I'm just going to pour it right out of the container here, and you can just add glitter right into it. And because the paint is wet, it's going to hold it on and act like a glue. So you can just sprinkle your glitter right on there. It'll be really pretty on the black.
Wow, great.
And that's just going to dry, and the glitter is not going to come off then, which is really great. Yeah. So yeah, I love, somebody mentioned glitter. You can absolutely add right on there. And then you can also go back, you know, and just kind of move your glitter around too.
So somebody's asking if the FolkArt pouring medium has, if it has silicone in it, and does it create cells?
It does not have silicone in it, and it does not create cells. You can add silicone into our product and create cells with it. Mm-hmm. It's just we don't have a product with the silicone in it. Ours is just the pouring medium, and it works with any of the silicone or additives that you want to add. Yeah. Okay. So something else, you know, you could also add your glitterific, like I mentioned. You know, glitterific is the most, we have the most metallic and the most glittery paint out there. So you could actually, you can see how thick and that glitter is. So you could actually add this on there too, just as like another level of glitter to your project. And you can see here, we did that. So right on the corner, you could just add your glitterific directly to your canvas.
That's really pretty.
So another way to get some sparkle. So I'm loving this. I'm gonna leave this one go. And again, you can keep working it, adding to it. That's what's so great. It's really the process that I love about this.
So Kira, if you pour your canvas and it dries and you don't care for it anymore, can you re-pour on top of it? Can you reuse that canvas?
Yes, and we do that all the time here. You can absolutely pour right back on your canvas. Mm-hmm. No problem. Like, yeah, we could take this and we could pour right back over this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's a great way too, like say you have an old piece of artwork, or, you know, like, I want to update, I want to change it, change my colors. You could just go ahead and take whatever you have, pop it off of the, you know, the wall, the, you know, back of the frame, and you could pour right over it. Yeah. Okay, so I think I have time for one more. I think we can do one more.
Mary Ellen said, when in doubt, just add glitter.
Yes.
And we couldn't agree more.
Glitter and glitterific.
Yep.
Okay. Another one.
Kira, people are asking if we can do poured flowers, so we'll have to do another live stream where we do flower pouring. That would be fun.
Oh yeah, I love that. That's great.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea. We're always trying to think of things, and tell us what you want to see. You know, we love the feedback. We have a beach pour coming up, so we're gonna do a bunch of different pours that are beach themed. So how to create sunsets and water. So you guys want to definitely check that out. And we're also going to do galaxy, a bunch of different like cosmos and stars and galaxy pours coming up.
people are asking about the geode ones too behind you. Kira just did a live stream this past week doing geode pours, so you can find that video on michaels.com.
Yeah, pop this off. So we did this geode pour. Again, same technique. This was, you could do a dirty pour. We just did a really beautiful emerald green color palette, added our treasure gold, and then we added our Mod Podge rock salt to it and glued it right on there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab another canvas. Are people still pouring along with us?
People are pouring along at home. I can see people's cups on their tables. I can see people stirring and their cups. Everybody's pouring along with you, asking lots of questions. They're excited for the beach and the galaxy.
Yeah, those will be great.
Yeah.
Okay,
Kira,
so
a quick question. How would you recommend using this technique on rocks? Would you change anything or have any pro tips?
no, so I would use a metal pan, like I said, a disposable pan to keep everything in. And you could just set your rocks in there and just pour directly on them, let them dry, and then I would hit them with a sealer if you're going to keep them outside for a long time. But nothing different. You could do a direct pour. I think a dirty pour would probably be easier, so you're not trying to like get into all your little different sides. So I would do your dirty pour and then just swirl and pour right on there.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to use a strainer. So this is a silicone strainer. You could use metal. And we just got this on Amazon. So just like literally sits in your sink. And we're going to do a pour through our strainer. So we're just going to use this stuff again. Okay. So I'm going to do orange. I wanted this to be bright so you guys could really see it. We've got orange, yellow, pink, and like a magenta. I'm going to throw some white in there and maybe a little bit of navy since I'm almost out. Maybe I'll mix up a little bit more navy here real quick. And again, keeping in the same color family, might add a little bit of navy. We'll see how it's looking just for some contrast. I think it'll look good on camera.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a 1-to-1 ratio with our FolkArt pouring medium.
So Annie is saying she's done it before, and after her paint dried, it didn't look shiny enough to her anymore. So is there some sort of gloss available to pour over it afterwards?
Yes. So I would use one of our Mod Podge formulas. So you could use Mod Podge gloss. You could just put it right over your canvas. It's going to dry completely clear and give you that shine.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Okay, so I have my paints. I have my silicone dish strainer. I'm going to set it right in the middle. And then I'm going to start pouring. So the great part about this is that it's going to not mix again, but you're going to see the first color you put in, it's going to start leaking out of your strainer. So you could do a dirty pour or a direct pour with this. And so you're going to start seeing, and I like a direct pour because you're going to see the different colors really pour through. So I hope you guys can see this start coming out. So you can just see the yellow start to come out. It's almost like a sunburst. So I'm going to put some white in there. Mod Podge colors, right, Jessie? Like hot pink.
Yeah. It's still Mod Podge month technically, so.
It's still Mod Podge month. So just want to keep pouring. So what I'm gonna get crazy and add a little bit of this navy in here.
Nice. So what if you want your paint to dry faster? You could just put a fan on it or something, right, Kira?
Yeah, I would recommend a fan with cool air rather than hot air from a hairdryer.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna get like sticky and it could get gummy.
Yeah.
Due to the heat. So definitely do cool.
Yeah.
You know, something else also is if you keep it propped up, like so if it's on your tacks or you want to take it and set it on something, letting that air get underneath helps it dry faster also. Definitely. Especially when it's getting so humid.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm just gonna, are you guys seeing this? Is it looking?
Yes, it looks really cool, Kira. Yeah, it looks like a mandala almost.
How are we doing on time?
We've got 20 minutes left.
Perfect.
Yeah, we've got tons of questions, Kira. I'm answering lots of technical questions. People are asking about the ratio and how to seal it and all these questions. So
Great.
people are loving it. Everybody's pouring at home.
Good. Oh, that one's a little chunky. I brushed it. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick this up so you guys can see. So there's your strainer. Just move that, and you can wash this again, soap and water. So you guys see that pattern? So you could leave it like that. So you could even just keep pouring bigger. It's almost like rings on a tree. You're just gonna keep getting bands of color, so you could just keep on pouring. Or you could swirl it.
Stacy said this one's her favorite.
Yeah, so then you could also, so I kind of like that navy up there in the corner.
She said, looks flowery. Wow, this is amazing. So cool. Wow, very cool. Everybody's loving this one.
Love it. So then you could also swirl in him. It is, this one's very retro. So you could put your strainer right back on and you can just keep pouring and you can create like another starburst almost.
It looks so beautiful.
Yeah, I wanted to do this one really bright so you could see it really well on camera.
Yeah. And I want to remind everyone, this video will be available later on michaels.com. All of these Zoom videos are available there. I'm getting that question a lot.
I want to know what's the craziest thing somebody's poured on.
Oh yeah. Somebody just asked, have we ever used a balloon for pouring? We have used a balloon, actually. We've used just about everything for pouring paint.
We have used a balloon. So we have a video actually. So you pour and then you take your balloon, you blow up your balloon and you basically pounce it and you create like flowers. I don't think we have a balloon here. I would totally do it. But you use it and you just pounce in your paint to create a pattern. So again, another burst, you could just leave this.
Ooh.
Or you could even just do an all white and yellow one and add to it. It really creates these really pretty flowers. I'll do one more.
Maria said she has a giant gourd that she wants to pour on. That would be really fun for fall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that.
We love pouring on pumpkins around Halloween and Thanksgiving time.
And then you could also take your paint skin and you could use a stencil and trace out like the word boo or Halloween, and then from your paint skin and then put it on your pumpkin. So that's a fun thing that we've done also.
Onali said they want to pour on their desk and see what happens.
Do it. Again, if you could just seal it, and then so yeah, you could just keep going with your strainer. So again, this one's getting a little crazy and busy, but you can see the different techniques. So if you're like, I like that flower look, you could even just do that and just leave the flowers that you're getting from your strainer. So that's it.
Very cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna move this guy.
That looks awesome, Kira. I love all of those florally looking.
It's so fun to have help too. People just take your wet canvases away. Does anybody have any other questions?
Yeah, we've got a question. I'm trying to find it. It was a minute ago. I was just going to answer it. Someone said that their preschoolers love to use our acrylic paint on their pumpkins. When they leave it outside, it peels off. So I think they're probably just using the regular formula of acrylic paint. What would you recommend, Kira?
So I would use multi-surface or an outdoor, which is really great to use because it's going to protect it from the elements. Or you could seal it, which I would, a grown-up teacher doing that, I would use Mod Podge outdoor. And you could just seal them. Again, it's not toxic, but just help them get it coated, and then it's going to protect the rock.
Yeah. And Charlotte wants to know, have you ever poured on furniture?
We have poured on furniture. We have done chairs. What else have we poured on?
We did a huge dresser around Christmas time.
Did a dresser. Again, a lamp, which we used the paint skin. Yep. So I completely forgot about the dresser. We actually took the drawers off, put them together and did one big pour. So when you looked at the pattern on the dresser, it just looks like one giant pour, which was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I'll do another pour, just I know we have time. I wanted to do 5, but we can do like a fun puddle pour. I don't have a lot of paint mixed up left.
Yeah.
But we can
People are loving it.
I was afraid I would run over.
Maybe we can do another geo too, because a lot of people have been asking about like the circular patterns that are hanging behind you.
Yes, absolutely. Let me see what I have there real quick. Just give me like a couple minute warning so we can say bye. And
yeah, we've got 15 minutes, so you're good.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so thumbtacks on my canvas. Actually, okay, let's do some greens. Let me see what I have here. This is the beauty of live.
Yep.
And so actually we have some rock salt also. So this was in our video earlier this week. So we made this rock salt with Mod Podge. So it's rock salt, like ice cream salt, Mod Podge, and glitter. So we made these. You want to check out that video. And this is a great addition to any of your canvases. And that's what we used on these geodes. That we just added them right to the canvas. And these don't match, but you could do golds and silvers and pretty much any color glitter you have, you could do. So that's a really fun thing to add to your geode for.
I love those little rocks.
Yeah, okay, so we'll do geode. So I'm gonna get some green. I don't know how much paint I have. You use a lot of paint, but again, there's so many things you can do with your leftover paint that I don't even worry about wasting it because you can just reuse it.
Yeah, totally. Onalee said she once poured in an old book to make a new cover, which is a great idea. And she said
I love that idea.
So many techniques to apply to her other projects.
Crafting on books are a huge trend. We did some projects again this winter before we went out. You guys, I'm out of green paint. Let me see. I'm gonna like dip down behind here and pull stuff from my bag.
I'm gonna keep reading comments. Kara saying so fun and beautiful. Jeannie just ordered supplies for the rock gems. Carlotta wants to know how she can find our videos. So all of these videos are going to be on michaels.com after they've done being live. What all was added? We are using our FolkArt pouring medium.
Yep.
This is a fun class. Everybody's loving it.
It's like mad scientists here today.
There's like people popping up like magically.
I know. They're just like, like who's doing the dishes? Okay, so I just did 1-to-1 with our FolkArt pouring medium and our paint. I'm just gonna do green, so it's similar to the green that is back here with the gold. And we did a video on this earlier this week. But you know, again, geodes, and what a way, they're so expensive if you just try to buy them. So the fact that you can pour them and create your own artwork and make it match whatever's in your house. You could do coasters, so you could get just inexpensive tiles or wood coasters like this. So Michael sells these in a pack, and you could pour right on them and make it look like a geode, and then just seal it, and you could actually use this as a coaster.
So cool. Everyone's saying they're ready to do it themselves. They said they loved all the pouring classes so far. You're a great instructor. So much fun. Yeah.
Happy National Creativity Day. I'm glad everybody's taking a minute and, you know, relaxing, like just getting some inspiration, whether you're crafting along or in a craft later.
Arjeet said they are 8 years old and they would love to try this project.
I love that. I have an 8-year-old son who, I think I told this story also on one of the classes. He just grabbed some paint that I had and he tried to pour it. And he was so mad that it didn't swirl. I was like,
aww,
buddy, we got to get you some pouring medium. That is a craft fail.
Luckily, your mom is a pro, so we can get you some.
Oh, he doesn't want advice or instruction.
He doesn't appreciate your wisdom.
Yes. He's like, I got this.
Susan said, what a good summer creative project for her kiddo.
Yes. Again, this is a great thing to get involved and teach them. Like, it is so good, especially, you know, school's ending early. Like, this is a great thing. Get them off the screen.
Yeah.
You know, so much video games and iPads, and this is a way to like get their hands dirty and just be creative. And there's no right or wrong. They can create anything, you know, and it's girls or boys too, which I love. It's not, you know, girls can pick their color palettes, boys add glitter.
Yeah. Here we've got
the rock crystals are a huge hit at our house again.
Yes. Kira, when did you get into paint pouring? Somebody wants to know.
Oh, geez. Since I've been at Plaid, so I've been here almost 7 years. So really the trend kind of started since I've worked here, and that's the first time that I did it.
That's awesome. And also, you were talking about some of the furniture pours that you've done. Where can they see those projects?
So if you go to plaidonline.com, we have tons of projects and inspiration. And the dresser is on there, the lamp. We've done big trays, so you could just get a wood tray and pour directly in that tray and let it dry. Then you have a functional piece. So plaidonline.com, we have tons of projects on there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna pour real quick. So for the geode pour, you can do it, this canvas is pretty big. You can do it a couple different ways, but I'm gonna do a dirty pour actually. So I'm gonna grab this. So I'm gonna layer my greens in. If I have enough paint, so I'm just gonna layer. And again, you could do any color, blues, purples, pinks. I'm gonna layer them. Right in there.
Somebody is reminding you that it's the 10-minute mark. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yeah, everyone's looking out for me. Like,
We're all
get me the good stuff.
Someone said they're super impressed that you're wearing a white shirt. Hers would be colored by now.
Oh, yeah.
Don't jinx us.
Tie-dye is also very trendy, so I'm riding it. I'm just gonna let it happen.
There you go.
Okay, that's good. Oh, the lime green.
Someone has the idea to say, they said when your cups are dry, they're asking if we have, but we haven't, you can make them into another project, all the colorful cups. What a great idea.
Oh, that would be really, you could almost like attach them.
That would
like,
be so beautiful.
Really abstract art. You could also just rip the paint out when it's dry.
I love
it's great
that.
if you want to reuse your cups, because I feel bad using all the plastic, you know?
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so all my greens and my golds for geode. So I'm gonna do a dirty pour on this guy. I'm gonna flip it up. And also the thumbtacks help if you need to slide your hand out under your canvas, because otherwise like your hand gets stuck. So that's a great way.
Yeah.
So another thing you could do too is, I know you guys asked for geode, but you could just kind of slowly let your paint out and you can create a different technique. If you can see that, like that's just another way.
That looks really cool.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm gonna swirl him.
I love those colors.
Yeah, I do too. The screen's really pretty. It shows up really well.
Yeah.
I still like the blue that we did. It's one of my favorites.
So pretty.
Yeah, this one reminds me of the first one we did too, kind of that whole geode. So you could do a whole collection or a gallery wall.
That
you
does
just do a
geode.
bunch of geodes.
Yeah.
So if you guys can see, I love that white, like up at the top there. I'm gonna kind of let this run off.
I love that. So
Yep, and then
a geode, Kira.
Then what you do, what's that, Jesse?
Someone's asking, what is a geode? We haven't explained.
Jesse, what's a geode? It's a rock.
It's like one of those rocks that has been like crystallized in the center. So when you crack it open, there's like swirls of like beautiful colors. A lot of it's like purple or green or blue. That's what a geode is. So it's gonna look like a natural rock.
Thank you. That's what I was just gonna say. It's like, you know, they're like just like a rock, and then the inside is beautiful crystals.
Yeah, it's like petrified rock. It's really pretty.
Yes.
Some people call it agate too. Like there's lots of different, you know, kinds and terms.
Okay, now I'm just gonna take my treasure gold and I'm gonna pour right. So this is the treasure gold with the pouring medium, and I'm gonna create these circles, almost like rings. Again, try to mimic the inside of the rock. Beautiful. When you would split it open. And then, like I said, you could just take your rock crystals. If you could leave it like this, beautiful. You could take your rock crystals, and because you could just use some Mod Podge. I'm just gonna set these on here. But you could take Mod Podge if your rock crystals were wet, and you could just Mod Podge them right on here.
Ooh.
So yeah, look, you just layer these guys on here. If I have any more gold, you could do green. So yeah, you could just layer these right on there. And I would use Mod Podge because it's a glue and sealer all in one. Mm-hmm. And you could just basically take your rock crystal and line this whole band of gold that we made. Or you could just do like a little chunk. Again, this is another one we did where then we just took our glitterific and we added it to the bottom of our canvas underneath our rock salt.
So pretty. Someone's asking, is the geode rock going to be a video on michaels.com? And Kira actually did that one earlier this week. So that is on michaels.com already.
Yep, so check that out because we show you how to do this rock salt. So it's rock salt, Mod Podge, and glitter. And we walk you through that the first part of the video, so you can make a whole pan and tray of all these awesome rock salts. And again, there's so many things. This is just not for pouring. You can do jewelry, decor, anything. I just love them with the pouring. Like, it just makes such a good combo and adds like sparkle and shine.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think we have to wrap up. Does anybody have any other questions? Because I know we have to pick a winner too.
Yeah, we also want to know, I think for the rock salt and for the paint pours, just a reminder of what the dry time is.
So 24 hours, especially with this humidity. And I told you I learned my lesson. I poured yesterday evening and we were still a little bit damp. So I would let it dry 24 hours overnight. Again, what's great about having it raised off your surface, get your air to it. You could put a fan on it. You don't want something like a ton of air because it's going to actually move the paint. But yeah, 24 hours. And actually, somebody was asking about cells. So this, the way this really mixed in here, I don't know if you guys can see that. It almost looks like baby cells, even though there's not silicone. So this one's a really great pour. There's a lot of detail in this.
I love that.
Okay, so Jesse, pick a winner. So we have to say goodbye.
Random. I'm just swiping on my phone through the comments.
Jesse's picking our winner at random. So when we announce your name, you want to go to our Plaid Facebook page and message us, and then we will get in contact with you to send out your product. So Plaid's Facebook page, you want to direct message us that you won, and we will get your product out to you.
Okay, the winner is, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, it's Ona Lee Shogren. So you have won $50 worth of Plaid products. So you can do all of these paint pours.
Yay! So congratulations. Thank you guys so much for spending National Creativity Day with us. Again, thank you, Michaels. Check out our other pouring videos on michaels.com, and we will be back. Jesse will be on next Monday with some painting, our Let's Paint. I'll be back for doing some more pouring, and we've got more Mod Podge next Friday. So thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.